All right, so I guess it is never too early to start getting ready for this Mexico run that is coming up, and I think I'll do this in two parts. This is going to be their sixth run there now, and 17 shows once they started doing 4 night runs there. So here we'll go from 2016 through 2019, and that'll be part one, and then hopefully I'll upload part two some other time. Although I just had to sit through, and how am I recapping this? Where am I getting my information? My own videos. Going back to 2016, boy, it was tough. 17 got a little bit better. The whiteboard makes its debut at some point. I definitely think I like the whiteboard recaps versus the just sitting there. And, I think my thing was always like, yeah, I'm just kind of like a verbal version, I'm a video version of the Phish.net set list, Sometimes somebody wants them to read it to them. People have accused me of that. They're like, all he does is just read the set list. And I'm like, yeah, this guy gets it. Well, there is a lot more opinion now. Once the whiteboard was introduced, I think there was a lot more talking. I had videos early on that were under 3 minutes, I think, this first Mexico run. One of them was like 2.5 minutes or something. Like back then, a 5-minute video was kind of crazy. But yet, and it was more, I don't know. It was definitely, it was hard to watch. Go back and watch myself all the way back in 2016. Still a handsome fella way back then. Still am now, is what I'm getting at. All right, so let's go all the way back. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's go all the way back to 2016, January 15th, the very first show in Mexico. It was all new to us. What's this going to be? I think I had predicted, I said in one video that there wouldn't be a lot of jamming. And they come out the first night, and I have a couple of surprises. There was a Say It To Me Santos somewhere along this run, not in 16, but at some point. I was like, I like that as a set closer. At the end of night 3 and 16, I was saying, I want more, I want more. I was not talking about the song. I just meant more music from them. Page ending it with the ocean. But like I said, let's start with the 15th. What's the Use was really good that night, according to me. I was kind of surprised to hear that. And then in the second set, you got Sand and Ghost. And they were rockers. According to me, they were just a lot of rock and roll themes that night. As I have a coughing attack right here in the middle of the video. That's why I should always have some Pepsi or water on hand. Okay, so night 1 back in 2016 had a really good second set Wolfman's, which is kind of rare. I feel like Wolfman's has always belonged in the second set, but for the most part, it's always been in the first set. Just a lot of straight ahead rock and roll from the band. Sand and Ghost highlighted. What's the Use? Not exactly straight ahead rock and roll. Another highlight that night. And then as far as my own recap and video go, very few opinions and a lot of cussing. Dropping a lot of F-bombs on you guys back then. I'm not into like this whole self-censorship that like a lot of YouTubers get into. But everything, fuck this, fuck that, fucking mother, fucking slave, dude. I don't know. It's a little cringy. So, now let's get on to the second night, the 16th of 16. Back in January, they used to do this. And according to me, the first set won. They opened up with Camel Walk. That's a good thing. That's obviously a sign that this is probably going to be a first set. And then they go Cities, Light, Simple, also in the first set. All very heavily jammed out. Again, that's when I think I made the comment that, and I'm the guy that said they weren't going to do a lot of jamming in Mexico. And that's about all I wrote down for night 2. Night 2, I said the first set wins, although there was something going on there in the second set. I don't even remember what it was now, but I didn't write it down. Night 3, my favorite, it says, so it looks like night 1 kind of came out and rocked it. Night 2, I just liked the first set. Night 3, overall, my favorite. We got a Down with Disease, we got a Slave. That's all I wrote down, though, for some reason. Page singing The Ocean. I know I was carrying on about that in my video. Seems like very few highlights for my favorite night. But maybe I think there might have also been a Yamar that night. Seems like Yamar gets played down there a lot. It's a very beach type of song. All right, so let's now move on to 2017. Boom. Phish makes their second trip into Mexico 2017. Again in January this time, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Missing it by a year when they were there the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Actually leaving 1 year to the day when they arrived the previous year. Wolfman's in the first set, becoming a theme. First night, Wolfman's, boom. Sand also in there, Fago, Caspian in the second set. I'm going to try to hurry this up. This video is already 5 minutes. I knew I was going to do a 2-parter. So then Yeah, sand, of course, is going to be always good. Doesn't matter that it's in Mexico on a beach. Wolfman's Brother, kind of the same thing. Prince Caspian, though, all right, sliding in there as a highlight in the second set. So the second night, January 14th of 2017, this was the night the whiteboard debuted as far as a Mexico debut. But then it's a little dicey because I went with the point system. I hadn't even figured out the point system. It was a very low-rated show. Tube got a 9, highest-rated song of the night. Mercury following that up with an 8, not following up on the set list, but so Tube and Mercury, if you get one solid jammer in each set and it's Tube and Mercury, it's not a bad show. Not sure if it's all, but anyhow, who knows? Like I said, the point system was a mess. Night 2, they completely wrecked it. Or night 3, night 3, January 15th of 2017. I also went back to the whiteboard, went back to the point system. And this is essentially what retired the point system forever, because they just came out and played a bunch of Hall of Famers. They played Tweezer, Ghost, and Fluffhead all in the first set. Then they played Down with Disease, Carini, Bowie, Hood, Slave, all in the second set. Plus others mixed in there, although they played that song Nothing. At all the times to play Nothing, they dropped it right then. And so still to this day, based on the set list alone, not necessarily based on the jamming. You got a Tweezer reprise in there somewhere. It was an A+. One of my favorite shows. It's been a while now, but, throughout 2017, I did re-listen to this show a lot, just based on the set list, man. Just a bunch of hammers just hitting you right over the head. So then we move on to 2019. They took a break in 18. Boom, we will now move on to 19. February 21st, 2019. Major live Phish fail on the 21st. I kind of remember this too, This is getting to the point where it was getting harder and harder to share. So perhaps I was buying my own webcast. Maybe that's why I was so bent. But then anyhow, they provide the second set for free for everyone. Always wanted it this way. I don't know if there's any kind of refund on that first set or not. Bathtub Gin, complete smoke show, obviously, as it's known to be. Always wanted it this way. Perhaps a surprise. Had a killer mustache in 2019, if I may comment. Probably the best handlebar mustache I've ever had. Really showing itself here on February 21st, 2019 in the Mexico Recapped. Kept it throughout night 2, the 22nd of 19, the YEM opener, which led to a great first set. Kind of seems like the thing, maybe night 2, first set's where it's at. I don't know if that's just a coincidence, although you did get another killer Mercury from down there in Mexico. And then they mixed in a Sanity, so that's always going to be a highlight. And then the next night, the 23rd of 2019, before again, the final night before we're going to take a little break. This was really the encore night, not the encore night of the run. There was a Carini and a Ghost, a Tweezer, Carini, Ghost, kind of going back to Hall of Fame type runs in the second set, but really the encore is what brought people to their feet. Nobody walking out on this encore. I mean, why would you? That's not the type of place where you walk out on an encore. Simple Martian Monster. They dip into Spanish Moon, then go back, finish Martian Monster. I commented how I love Martian Monster as an opener, but Martian Monster as an encore as well, giving it a thumbs up. And while we're there, go ahead and thumbs up this video if you've made it this far. Coong sneaking in. Coong, big black furry creatures from Mars. Boy, that's a mouthful. So after the Martian, so you got Martian Monster and the big black furry creatures in there. You got Coong, and then Page McConnell, Sleeping Monkey, Tweezer reprise, ending it all. And I suppose that'll end night part 1 here of the Mexico, a historical look back at the Phish on the beach. 2016, 17, 19. And then part 2, we will do 20 and 22. Boom, boom, boom. Thank you for turning in. These are all my goodbyes. Boom, hand to the face, the stiff arm. Oh my God, the Bengals are on right now, and we're out of here. Good luck in Mexico. Have fun. Look forward to part 2. I don't know when it'll be. I want to guarantee there will be a part 2, but who knows, man. I'm kind of a flake. Boom.